Maylin had always sensed things. Flickers of movement in places that should have been empty. Voices curling through the silence of night, calling her name in tones both familiar and strange. As a child, she dismissed them as the wild imaginings of a lonely girl, desperate to escape a mother's cruel hand and a house thick with unspoken things. But no matter how tightly she clung to reason, those shadows never truly left her. She learned early not to speak of what she saw. Evelyn Harrow, her mother, had no patience for weakness, and even less for ghosts. The mere mention of anything unnatural would earn Maylin a sharp slap or a cold, dead-eyed stare that lingered long after the bruises faded. The house, with its aging wood and whispered history, offered little refuge. Every creak of the floorboards, every breath of cold air down the hallway seemed to carry a memory Maylin wasn't meant to hold. Her father, Thomas Harrow, had been the single bright tether in an otherwise gray world. A quiet man, with laugh lines at the corners of his eyes and calloused hands that smelled of pine and motor oil. He would slip Maylin sweets from his coat pocket, teach her the names of the constellations, and whisper stories about the Harrow family before the shadows came to live in their bones. But fate, as it so often did in Cedar Grove, was unkind. When Maylin was just 15, a drunk driver barreled through an intersection on a rain-slicked road, and Thomas's life was reduced to a shattered windshield and a phone call in the middle of the night. The hole he left in her life was vast and aching. And the day of his funeral, as the mourners drifted away and the sun sank behind the old pines, Maylin swore she saw him standing by the edge of the woods, eyes full of sorrow, his hand raised as though to reach for her. After that, the strange sensations intensified. The whispers grew bolder, shadows hung heavier. She felt as though the dead had fastened themselves to her somehow, a bloodline tether too tangled to sever. Grief made her vulnerable to them, and in those hollow months after her father's death, she would wake to the feeling of someone sitting on the edge of her bed, or find old, withered flowers on her windowsill that hadn't been there the night before. The years wore on. She married Lucas Steady, practical Lucas who never believed in ghosts, and carried with her a heart so scarred and stitched together, it barely beat the same way it used to. They settled into the old house, as if somehow she could reclaim the pieces of herself by restoring the walls that had both sheltered and haunted her. But the past was not content to stay buried.